Well, hey there guys, it's Corinna from mydigitalfarmer.com. Hope you guys are doing really well. I am popping in for my usual Monday tutorial, and I am going to just check in here and make sure that I can see myself and see if the lighting is on. Cool. All right, good. My head's not chopped off. Hey, today I am talking to you, trying to keep things short this summer because I know how busy we all are, and I'm talking to you guys today about calls to action and the importance of having a call to action whenever you're creating content. This is not something that I was always good about remembering to do, and it's only recently that it's really been burning into my brain that anytime I create content, whether it's on Facebook or Instagram or a blog post, or if I do a video for YouTube or a Facebook Live video, that I use that as an opportunity to issue a call to action during the content. Remember, you are the guide for your customers. They are waiting for you to show them how to get the results they want. They are waiting for you to tell them what to do next. And your job is to make their journey through the customer value journey process as clear as possible and as simple as possible. So you're trying to cut through all the confusion and give them a plan, right? You need to tell them, this is what I want you to do next. And they really need you to do that. It's not going to be intuitive for them to know after they watch or consume this video that you just shared with them that they should do X, Y, or Z. So you need to tell them. And sometimes this can feel a little salesy, but if you create value and you create content and you teach them something, it doesn't end up feeling that way. So I'm going to kind of share with you kind of what my process is for creating calls to action for my various social media content pieces, and maybe a tool that I have created that helps me kind of keep it all organized. So when would you create a call to action? So we've already kind of shared a few things. Like if you're going to do a video, I always put my videos on YouTube because it's just a great search engine. So you might, when you're doing your video, you might say at the end, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, okay? That would be an example of a call to action. If, like the other, last week I was doing a video of the boxing process, the assembly line process for a CSA, because I wanted people to see behind the scenes how it works. And I could have put it inside my private Facebook group for my CSA members only, but I thought, no, this is a really great branding opportunity and advertising opportunity, so I actually posted it in my business page. And I thought before I turned on the camera, I'm like, what's my call to action? What do I want people to do after they see this? And so I told them at the end, I said, if you would like to think about joining our CSA and getting a box like this that I just showed you how it works, go to download my guide, my 6 questions to ask before you join a CSA. And I gave them the link in the video verbally. I said, this is where you go. And then I went up and changed the post later in the video so that they could access it in the post too. So it's sharedlegacyfarms.com/writecsa. And if they click on that, they'll be taken to a landing page where they can give me their email address, and then they get those 6 questions sent to them in their email box. And it begins this whole sales sequence process that I've built into my ConvertKit email service provider. Okay, so that would be an example. You can also create an image post. So for example, garlic scapes are really big right now in June. So I put up a picture of a garlic scape, or maybe a picture of someone harvesting scapes, or a picture of something I'm making with scapes. And I might tell them, if my goal for that post is I want people to subscribe to my farmers market email list, I might show that and say, hey, this is what's coming out at the farmers market this week. If you want to know what's going to be for sale each week at the farmers market or pre-order in our store, go to this link, and I have that call to action ready. Okay, another example would be just a blog post. So you put your calls to action in the middle and at the end of your blog post in 2 different places so that as they're scrolling through, they're going to see this. And so, for example, if I'm doing a blog post about a kitchen tool that I might be using a lot of, I can reference, hey, I have a lead magnet, a freebie called the Essential Kitchen Tools Guide for CSA Masters. And if you would like to download that or get that, subscribe here. Okay, so you can see how you can create content, and then after each content piece, or in the middle or at the beginning, you let people know what you want them to do. Okay, so those are just some examples. So I let my freebies and my calls to action inform what my content will even be. So as I'm sitting there thinking about what am I going to post today, what am I going to write about in my blog post, what am I going to make a video about, I'm always filtering it through my mind, like, well, what calls to action do I have already? What lead magnets do I have? What do I want them to do? And how can I create content that's going to naturally fall into these funnels, okay? So if I see a post-worthy topic on my farm somewhere, I'm going to ask myself, how can I add one of my calls to action to that? Can I? And if I can't, then I might switch. I might not even do the topic at all. I might kind of switch it so that one of my calls to action will fit into it, okay? So I've actually created a tool to help me with this because I was starting to lose track of all my calls to action, or I felt like I was really focusing heavily on a couple of them and not doing enough with others. So I decided to create a little cheat sheet, and I have this on my computer. It's just like a top 10 list of my, well, it's actually more than 10, but it gives me essentially my top 10 list of calls to actions. And they tend to fall into 4 buckets, into CSA, Farmers Market, Academy. So I have a virtual online digital academy where people can, I'll tell you about it next week. I'm going to kind of talk to you guys all about it. It's really cool. It's on teachable.com, and it's where I put all my videos, all my cheat sheets, all my ebooks, and I've organized them into like mini courses so that my members can go there and access all my content for free. And so I actually now sell the Academy as a product in itself. And so I have a funnel for that to help people learn more about that and want to purchase it. And then my 4th bucket is bulk buyers and canners, because I have discovered through my data that my bulk buyers, people who freeze, they spend a lot of money with me. So if I can develop those people, more customers into bulk buyers and canners, I can have a greater lifetime value for those customers. So I've kind of created a funnel for that too. So in each of those funnels, I have different calls to action. I have different lead magnets that are within that funnel, and I will reference those as I'm trying to encourage people to go into those funnels. Okay, so for example, in my CSA, since this is a Facebook group about CSA marketing, let's focus on that one here. So within my CSA funnel, I have created a lead magnet called the 6 questions you should ask before you join a CSA. If you join my email list, you get that for free so that you can use it too in your farm. It's a very, very popular lead magnet that people download. So I might use that if I'm doing a video about CSA. I already talked about it when we did the boxing process, and I referenced it. I said, if you want to learn more about CSA, I don't just send them to my sales page. I don't just say, go to SureLegacyFarms.com, whatever, to buy it. I send them to a lead magnet, because I know that if I just send them to my sales page, they're probably not going to convert. It's a high ticket item, and they need to be warmed up. So I've created a sales sequence, a bunch of emails in an email sequence that's tied to this lead magnet, so that when someone downloads the 6 questions, it automatically triggers an email sequence of like 8 emails that gets dripped out over the course of 2 weeks. And it's the emails that sell the product and warms them up and gives more stuff away for free, creates goodwill. So I want them in my email sequence, because that is what converts. And I don't have to work hard. I let this email sequence do the selling for me. So that's an example of what a lead magnet can do. And you can learn all about how to create lead magnets in a video. I did a video all about Lead Magnets 101. There's also a video about how to use a lead magnet builder, like lead pages. So you can do look for the lead pages video in this group as well, okay? Another example would be my lead magnet called Master Tools, the Essential Kitchen Tools Guide. And so I actually have a lead magnet for that, so I could tell people, hey, if you want to download this, you can go to SureLegacyFarms.com/mastertools, and they'll be able to get that essential guide, and then it'll automatically trigger this sales sequence again, and they'll get tagged as a CSA lead. Okay, and this is all stuff that I set up inside ConvertKit, which is my email service provider. You can probably do that in your email service provider as well. I love ConvertKit because it's so intuitive and so easy to use. And if you want, I am an affiliate for that email service provider, so if you want to learn more, you can look for, I'll put a link down here in the notes, but you can look for the video that kind of does a step-by-step behind-the-scenes look at that provider. Probably my best lead magnet of all for the CSA funnel, though, is my harvest calendar, and that was really easy to make. I just made a giant grid with all the vegetables listed, and then the week 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way through 18. And then I just had an X in the box if that was something that was in season, that was most likely to be in their box. And so people often want to know what's going to be in a CSA share. What am I going to get each week? So that is almost always downloaded by someone, and it is definitely my top lead magnet for my CSA, along with the 6 questions. So again, I could use that in one of my videos or in one of my posts. I could, just say, hey, instead of just posting a picture of people who are harvesting broccoli or a gorgeous picture of cauliflower, I could say, would you like to know what's in a CSA box? You can grab, this freebie here to find out the calendar of things that'll be in your box. And then once again, when they subscribe to that, it's connected automatically through ConvertKit. I tell ConvertKit to tag them as a CSA lead and to automatically subscribe them to this sales sequence about CSA. And that will hopefully end up selling them into the program. And then I do have another one, just, sharelegacyfarms.com/sampler. That's just a sales page though, so that doesn't automatically trigger any kind of email sequence. But that is one of my kind of anchor points or calls to action that I could use in a video if I want to say, you want to learn more about my sampler box, go to sharelegacyfarms.com/sampler and you can read all about it. Okay, so you can make your sales pages also be a call to action. So those were just, how many is that? That's 5 anchor points, 5 calls to action that I have just within the CSA bucket. And I love that because when I'm creating content, whether it's a video, a do-it-yourself, or a how-to video that I do live or pre-produced, whether it's an image post, whether it's in Instagram stories, you have these in your back pocket and you can issue your content real quick and then you just throw out that call to action. And if I have a cheat sheet like this that reminds me of what they are, I can change it up. Before I even go live or before I do something, I look at this and I say, you know what, I'm going to really push this, the calendar angle, so that people are told to go and subscribe and go there. All right. So does every single post or piece of content get a call to action? No. I'm not always good about remembering to do it, but ever since I've created this list, it's really helped me because I have all the shortcuts right here with me. So I highly recommend that you make something like this. It just really helps you remember to do it to begin with. And also, it's just a quick, here's the link, you just cut and paste it, and you can throw it right in, or you can say it in your video training. But sometimes I just do goodwill content. So I might share a video for how something works, or the other day I think I was showing people how to eat rhubarb raw, and I didn't share a call to action, although that was a very, very popular video. And I should have. I kind of kicked myself later. I'm like, oh, so many people watched that and thought that was interesting. I should have just added on one of these things. And again, I didn't think of it. So having this list, I've just started doing this recently. It's made a huge difference. It's making me remember to do it, and it's making me go and find the link real quick before I go live, and then I can just talk about it. It helps me kind of tailor my content better too as I'm speaking. I kind of know how I want to angle it and where I'm going with it. So remember, last final tips here. Decide what content you're going to create based on which calls to action you even have, okay? And if you don't have a lot of lead magnets built yet, then maybe you can kind of take a look at, well, what are the primary topics, the primary categories within my business? What are my funnels? And there's a great video that I did on this months ago that you can look back in the video archives on this page, or you can go find them on my Vimeo page. And it's the one about the value journey, and it helps you, or the value ladder, the value ladder. So it helps you create a value ladder and just decide what are the products going to be in my suite of products, and how do they move along the customer journey? How do they progress from, not so commitment bound to high level of commitment and investment? And you slowly move people up through that ladder. And you want to try to create, different ladders, different customer products. And then you create these lead magnets that might lead into those different products. So like I said, I have one for CSA. I have a whole funnel that's just for farmers market people that are never going to join my CSA, but maybe they'll buy a lot from my farmers market stand, or they'll eventually turn into bulk buyers or canners, and they're going to buy a lot of stuff every time they come to the market. So that's a whole product funnel there where I create like my A to Z storage guide funnels into that. And that's kind of at the very top of my business where everybody comes in through there, and then I siphon them off and ask them if they're interested in CSA, and then they might get drawn into the CSA funnel. So there's just different ways. And like I said, I have the Academy now, which I'm developing a sales sequence for that so that people can kind of buy into that program for $65 a year and have access to all that content. Okay, so I make these lead magnets that I was talking about in a tool called Lead Pages, which I'm also an affiliate for. This is a landing page tool builder, incredible tool. It's a little bit ninja, so if you're just starting and you're just in this group kind of at the beginning and you haven't really learned a lot, I wouldn't dive into Lead Pages yet. I would just kind of try to learn the different stuff here in this group. But that is definitely an amazing, amazing tool. It is definitely worth its $300 a year price tag. I have probably 40 lead pages that I've made in there already that I can use from time to time. I build my sales pages in there, and I also build all my lead magnets in there. So you can watch, there's a video training, like I said, about lead pages if you want to see behind the scenes on what it looks like and what it can do for you. So here's your call to action. Okay, I'm modeling what I'm preaching right here. I want you to think about what are your funnels, what are the primary products that you want to promote, what are your calls to action? Do you want people to subscribe? Do you have a great YouTube channel? Do you want people to be subscribing to your YouTube channel? Okay, maybe that's something you should write down on your top 10 list. Do you want people to be purchasing your CSA? Okay, put down that sales link, that sales page link. Or if you have some lead magnets that will lead into that product, definitely write down the links for one or two of those. I would really recommend you try to create one lead magnet by the end of this year for next season for CSA. It's going to be a huge help for you. Do you have a farmer's market funnel that you want people to go down? What could you create that would pull them into that? So just kind of think about what those products are and then create some calls to action for them and write them down on a piece of paper like I did so that you have them somewhere. And then every time you do some kind of content, it's not going to be an immediate thing you're going to be awesome at right away, but just be aware that when you create a post in Instagram, you do a video for YouTube or do a Facebook Live, just ask yourself before you start, does it feel natural to put one of these calls to action in there? Can I weave it in there some way? Can I act as the guide? Because remember, your customers want you to guide them. They want you to tell them what to do next. They need you to give them the plan because they're not going to be able to filter through all the information and figure it out themselves. So what's the thing you want them to do? And is what you're teaching right now in this content, does it align with one of your calls to action? And if it doesn't, then maybe you need to create a call to action or a lead magnet that will align with some of these big categories that you tend to talk about. But you can do that later, but just ask yourself, can I create a call to action? What should it be? And remember to actually issue it at halfway through and at the end of your content. Okay? Hey, I hope this was helpful. Let me see if there are any questions or if any of you were even live. I know this is crazy busy season right now. And next week, I think I'm going to do a training about I'm just going to talk about my academy and just let you guys give you a backstage tour of what's in there because it's really, really cool. Let me see if I see anybody. My iPad is not showing any comments, but it may just be slow. So I'll check back later. If you have a comment or you have a question, post it in there, and I'll add up those links that I mentioned in my video so that you can access some of those other trainings. Thanks for joining me. Have a great week, guys. See ya. Bye.